Good morning, everyone. Sorry, afternoon, I should say. It's midday, just about afternoon. Hope you're all well on this sunny day. We've got another special guest today, so I'm going to bring in Jacqui in a minute. But for those of you who didn't watch the last kind of charity update we did, just to explain that at Perrywood we like to support charities and community groups. We've got a fantastic team here at Tiptree and at Sudbury that love to do fundraising. Our customers are really generous as well, and it's one of our kind of company values that we want to put a smile on people's faces and really do some good work in the community. So this year we've got several charities and organisations that we're supporting. We're supporting Active Gardens over in Sudbury. They've got a volunteer group that goes into Bellevue Park and does fantastic work upkeeping the park there. So we're helping them. We've got Together We Grow, which is a campaign in social enterprise in Colchester. So they're doing fantastic work with different groups. And we've got Green Fingers, which is a national charity that our industry supports, and they do wonderful children's gardens in children's hospices. I'll get my words out in a minute. And then the last but not least is the fantastic Abberton Rural Training. So this is a organisation that I came across a couple of years ago and just thought they did such fantastic work that I wanted to work with them. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the lovely Jacqui. Good morning, Jacqui.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Oh, sorry, I keep saying good morning. It's afternoon. I will get it in my head eventually. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hannah.
Cool. So thank you for coming on. So I know a bit about you, but for people that don't, what kind of led you to setting up Abberton Rural Training, and what do you do?
Okay. So Abberton Rural Training, or ART, provide training and support and advocacy for all sorts of disadvantaged groups. So we've got long-term unemployed, sort of isolated and vulnerable people, wounded and injured service personnel and veterans we do a lot with, and just people who don't fit into a sort of more standard environment and that have got multiple barriers often. And basically we were asked to start really by a funding application that was part of the Abberton Reservoir, hence the name. So although we're not based at Abberton Reservoir, we work across Essex. That gave us a real start, and following my background in education and community relations, I'd worked with the Department of Education, Ofsted, and learning and skills councils and health councils across the years, and having had my own health challenges, it was an opportunity for me to really use that to be able to empathise with other people and support other people and build what we have now, which is a huge operation across the whole of Essex and into Suffolk, supporting 1,500 people a year in all sorts of different ways.
That's amazing. So you basically take people in some of these groups and you put them through these courses that are generally based around kind of land-based studies, so horticulture, carpentry, things like that.
All sorts.
So what's success look like for you at the end of one of those courses? Because one of the things I love is the stats that you gave me when we did a kind of initial fact-finding call around the amount of people that get jobs at the end of it, and you have some real kind of success stories. So what does success look like?
Well, for some people it is getting a job or starting their own self-employment. So even this year with the COVID pandemic, we've just been doing the figures ready for our end of year celebration, and we're up to 73% who have actually gone into employment, self-employment, volunteering or further education this year.
That's amazing.
And we're adding some further level 2 and level 3 courses actually as well. We've been concentrating very much on level 1s previously, but to give people that opportunity to grow further. Particularly where other colleges, etc., have actually removed all of their level 1 and level 2 provision. There was a real gap there to be able to, start. If you're interested in gardening or you're interested in countryside and environment, how do you do that if you're in a rural area yourself, or you just don't have those other qualifications or those academic qualifications to be able to go straight in at a higher level?
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Yeah. And can you give me a couple of actual examples of people? Because I know that when we've talked to you and some of the photos we've got around the garden centres, there's some really lovely stories. Can you give me a couple of examples of people that have gone through their courses and kind of what's happened to them? Because I think that really brings it to life for people.
Absolutely. There's so many examples. Gosh, I get so many emails and updates, from people, and I was on site visits yesterday talking to several about all of their experiences. And we've just got some people that are absolutely amazing for what they do. We've got, so I'm just trying to think, I can't name them obviously at the moment.
I know.
But so I'm trying to do that as well and think through, what can I say, what can't I say? But we've got people, some that have been through rehab. We've got, another that's street homeless. And, the fact that they leave their sleeping bag and everything they've got to come and do an education course.
Wow.
And, for some, they've never had a certificate or a qualification in their life. They've, leaving everything they've got or own to come in and do that and find a positive way that they can actually realize that they're at the bottom and they can now only move forward.
Yeah.
Is absolutely amazing.
It feels like there's no barriers. You don't kind of exclude anyone. You're kind of, you just want to help people, which I think is wonderful. And I was saying to you earlier before we came on air that I think one of the reasons is you mentioned you've had your own health challenges, and I think you care very deeply. You're a fantastic kind of businesswoman and organizer, but you care very deeply about those individuals.
They all count. Everyone has a story. Yeah. And I don't think any of us really get through life completely unscathed. And there's a whole range of different things. We're dealing with people with, extreme PTSD. I've got wounded into service personnel, and with limbs missing, etc. And we've got, so people that have suffered domestic violence and abuse. And some of those stories are absolutely harrowing. One of the girls that we're working with at the moment, she's now on several of the courses. Her dad said the other day that it's the happiest she's been since she was 6 before she got brain cancer.
Wow.
And she's had not only cancer battles, but huge issues with violence and assault to her actually over the years, and lots of different things. And because of her brain injuries, also has learning difficulties. Yeah. So, the amount this poor girl has gone through over the years, and the fact that she's attending and, taking part and completing her units is just wonderful to see. And some people will do it all in, 3 months and they can complete that. And that's wonderful and great for them. Others will take 3 or 4 years. And at the end of the day, I don't ever want someone to feel that they're being pushed out or, left at the end of a program because they haven't been able to keep up with the pace. I've got another who has injections every month that completely wipe him out because of his physical ailments. And in a normal setting, miss 3 and you're out in adult education. He can't do that. There's no way. And he's progressing and making those changes to his life.
It's wonderful.
It's not just to his life, it's his family as well, and their families. And it's that whole, the community. They're not the drunk on the bench in the street anymore. They're, we've got people that have been through rehab, some that have been really fighting drug or alcohol issues, for a number of years and are literally on the edge of life in some cases. Yeah. We had 6, we had to do direct interventions last year for suicide, literally. And the Walk and Learn at Chelmsford, I was talking the other day, actually, there was a large group of those that if we hadn't have managed to get the council to agree to continue a Walk and Learn, out in the woodlands during lockdown, they confirmed that they would not have made it through the next week.
Wow.
They were, and there were suicide attempts along the way, but we've kept them going. And now, one of them's now got a new partner. He's got a baby on the way. He's set up his own self-employment. He's selling jewelry, actually. He's just been approved on Amazon to sell jewelry, and he's now got life. Yeah. He was someone who sat on his windowsill with a noose around his neck, having taken an overdose, that phoned our counselling team to say, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's just
amazing. What is it about some of these land-based studies in horticulture and gardening? Why is that a good kind of vehicle for all of this stuff? Because you could have done all sorts of things, but why this? Why do you think this works?
Well, I think we both know from our experiences how much nature actually heals. It's Absolutely. Massively important, being outside in the open air. When you look at the 5 ways to better mental health that the NHS prescribe, being outside in touch with nature is absolutely there. Being part of a group, learning new skills, having a focus. And, I remember my very first student, actually, Tommy, coming, and it was a very different experience because I was literally painting a classroom at the time. I had overalls on in green, and he was brought up by his social worker and sort of saying, I've been in the system since I was 4. What can you do that's different? I said, try us. and he went on actually to get an apprenticeship with a removal company and has been doing really
Lovely.
well. And
Yeah.
we still hear from them,
Yeah.
even much later on, they still, sort of keep in touch and let us know. And we've had whole families as well.
Yeah,
but
and I
all
guess that's the thing, that the word spreads, that if someone has a good experience, it will go on to something else.
Absolutely.
So what, I know you're extremely busy, you've got all sorts going on. So what does the rest of this year and kind of next year look like for you? What are you doing? Because I know you've always got lots of fingers in different pies.
Well, we've got 10 locations across Essex plus the 3 Army ones at the moment. So that keeps us obviously busy. We do work, a lot of our courses go to an academic year because of the qualifications, but not all of them. So we've got the Army courses and programmes stay throughout the summer. We've also got children's groups. We've got 2, one in Malden and one at Great Notley Country Park, which will be running throughout the summer for children on free school meals and special educational needs groups. So we've got 15 on each of 4 days a week for the 5 weeks during the summer. So that's certainly going to keep us busy. We're working with Brentwood Council on their family fun days. There's several days that our team will be out there and planting trees and doing other things as well with them. And then we've got the programmes obviously starting again as well in autumn. So we're always getting ready for the next ones. We've got new qualifications being added. We've got the textiles, which started as well. That's doing fantastically already. We've got some paid for courses as well as the funded courses as a mix, so that people can come along, know that what they're doing, in their textiles or carpentry group actually gives back to people that are less advantaged than they are.
I think that's a great idea.
So all of those things are carrying on throughout the summer. And then it's also when we're doing our policies and all our checks and balances and have to do our reports, all the stuff behind. So no, we don't get the whole summer off. No way.
Okay. So what does the partnership with Perrywoods enable you to do, Jacqui?
Yeah. Oh, it's been absolutely wonderful for us to being able to work with you and Tristan as well, who's joined us, your operations director, who's joined us as a trustee. So valuable. Not just the financial donation, you've given us plants and money towards IT, and we've put that already into good use with a new website, and we've been able to make changes that have been long overdue on that. It's always, you're so busy at the coalface, you don't have the time to do those other things all the time. But that support and reaching other people, getting the message out there, we still are one of the best kept secrets in Essex, I think.
I agree with that.
Even though we do so much for so many. And actually, Essex County Council have just published a report on our social value. For every £1 that we get in funding, we give back £40, they believe, in social funding. So we actually generated over 8 million in social value last year from our 200,000 turnover. So, it's an incredible amount of work, but it's still not known out there. So to get out to people, and I've been loving being on your Facebook page as well and helping answer questions on people's plant inquiries.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you've been a great part of that. So thank you.
And
so how can people get involved? What are you? What are the opportunities either to go on the courses or to support your organisation?
Yeah, so there's so many ways you can. So we've definitely got a course generally around, if you're in Essex, we've got something that's nearby you, right the way down from, say, Brentwood and Hadley all the way up to, we've got Little Clacton and Wheeley, over to Housestead and Essex, and, obviously the central Chatham Green and Malden, etc. So, if you know someone who's struggling, if they've got mental health issues, if they've got, SEND needs, or, they've fallen out of their normal education, or just want something to give them a perk up in life, or they want to learn new skills, put them in touch. We've got our Facebook page and the web page. If you're wanting to volunteer, we had 70 volunteers over the last year. We've just been awarded a Queen's Award for voluntary service, which is amazing. We actually received that on the 15th of July, our actual signed certificate by the Queen. So volunteers are really, really important to us. That's not just on the programmes to support the tutors, but also in admin and trustees and other roles. There's so many different things, even coming along and picking up, plants, transferring them from one place to another, the logistics and, sort of.
Oh, we seem to have lost Jacqui, which is a great shame because she was just telling us some really good stuff. But I had nearly finished, so we'll leave it there. But hopefully you've all found that really interesting. If you do want to know more, we will put the Facebook group and the web link under this video. Thank you, Robin, for commenting. So very impressed with what you do. Absolutely. Oh, Jacquie's back. Hold on, let me put you on. Sorry, Jacqui, we lost you there. You just disappeared. I kept talking for you. It's okay.
I don't know what happened.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Yes, but donations as well. You know, on the Facebook page and the website, we've got a local giving. You can do it online, and we're also going to be doing. We've got just been accepted by North Essex Velo as well to do a cycling sportive. That will be announced soon-ish, hopefully. We're just sort of making other arrangements for that, and obviously COVID changes. We'll have a fundraising dinner dance actually for our army programs next year, and you know, and if people want to do a challenge, then we're more than ears, you know, to find out how you can do that and help support.
So it sounds like if people are interested, probably because people who'll be watching this are already on Facebook, so probably the best thing to do is find you on Facebook. We'll put a link under the video, and we're broadcasting today to Perrywood Tiptree, but also to Perrywood Sudbury, because obviously Sudbury is only just across the border into Suffolk. So actually, the programmes you've got in North Essex, presumably you take anyone if they can get to you.
Yeah. We've got 3 sites we use in Suffolk as well. So we've got the farms, and we've got a lovely orchard there as well. We've been looking after.
You've got something with goats as well, haven't you?
That's right. Yes, it is. The Nambiers. Yeah, fantastic. There's nothing that a baby goat can't fix. And actually, we've just got. Oh my God, these pygmy donkeys, a lady who does therapy donkeys, they're pygmy donkeys. And on a number of the programs, when a tutor's off, we're booking the pygmy donkeys to come in because, oh my God, they are just,
I don't even know what one is. I'm going to go and Google a pygmy donkey. It sounds cute, but I've never seen one. So that sounds fantastic.
Really, really, really cute. If you're into cuteness and animal care, oh my God.
Pygmy goats, the way forward.
Excellent. Pygmy goats and donkeys, yes.
Oh, sorry, donkeys, pygmy donkeys. Excellent. Thank you. Well, I think we'll leave it there, Jacqui, because I think we've covered quite a lot. And if anyone's got any questions, they can put it under this video. I know we've got some people watching live, but I'm sure some people will watch afterwards. So if you have got a question, pop it in the comments, and myself or Jacqui, we'll both active on Facebook. We'll both come and reply. So thank you, and good luck for the rest of the year. I know we'll catch up another time, Jacqui. But yeah, thanks for everything you do. It's really fantastic.
And thank you and all of Perrywoods for your support. It is absolutely amazing.
It's an absolute pleasure. So thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you.